California.net. And I'll let them introduce themselves to all of you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rebecca Martinez, and I am here today on behalf of artscalifornia.net, but our actual company is.
Blue Cat Studio. I'm John Potter.
And we incorporated as Blue Cat Studio in 2006. John has a background in software engineering.
Yeah, large format, I think.
And technology software design. And I have a background in graphic design. And I have an interest in surface design and polymer clay and just art in general.
Yeah, and you are on the tour this year.
I am on the Plaster Art Secrets tour this year. Yeah, stop number 30 in case anybody is not on it themselves and can visit. Yeah. How did you take it?
I'm gonna let you take it.
All right.
Give it a lead.
All right. So as I mentioned, we incorporated in 2006. We started off in Colfax. We moved down to Auburn. We were in the same building as Plaster Arts at 808 Lincoln Way.
Mhm.
We moved there in 2010 at the invitation of the executive director at the time. And things have changed. People have moved. Plaster Arts has turned into the Arts Council of Placer County, back to that. But we are still in that building at 808 Lincoln Way. We've moved downstairs. We have a cave down there. We can get a lot of work done because nobody knows we're there.
Yeah, we're in the basement. Keep us in the basement.
It's a fun place to have a studio. There's always something going on. There's the clay lab, there are artist studios. Kansas Mark Baker has a studio there. Tracy Owens has just begun to become the curator for what is now the General Gomez Arts and Events Center. I'm sure most of you has everybody been there? Raise your hand if you've been there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a fun place to visit right in downtown Auburn. And last year, of course, you know, our meager stream of customers was sort of drying up with the pandemic. And I took the opportunity to take an online class, and it was total eye-opener. And so when we came back, we were out of we closed the office for a while. And when we came back, I said, John, I think we should be doing something on video. We should be doing something on YouTube. You embraced the idea.
Yes, and working with Premiere, it's very easy to create videos, edit them, and make them into what you want them to be. And YouTube allows us to, upload and share our videos that we make.
We both had a passion for the arts and for tourism for many years. It's something that's fun for us to promote. It's interesting. And if you've watched our videos, you might notice that we do have a lot of fun with them. That's kind of what keeps us going.
Yeah.
Is that they're fun. Yeah. We don't really have a master plan. We just kind of randomly make videos.
Oops.
And we always welcome suggestions. Actually, let's go ahead and look at that studio. Okay, let's start with that studio.
As a reminder that everybody's turning.
Yeah.
Right. So I actually started. I started using the business name Blue Cat Studio back in 1994. And when we incorporated, we tossed around a lot of different ideas for names. We had another member of our business at that point too. And we decided just to go ahead and keep Blue Cat Studio because I had, established the URL back in 94 and already had some ranking and whatnot. So
The
we kept,
name is known.
yeah, the name was known. So we kept that. I chose the name not because I'm a particular cat fan, cats are fine. And not because I have a blue cat, I don't have a blue cat. It's just that it's something that's easy to remember, and that's what I wanted. Before I chose the name Blue Cat Studio, I was doing business as Rebecca Sabaji Design. Sabaji was my last name then. And I would call clients and say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Do you need anything? Yeah, I've been meaning to call you and I just couldn't remember your name. So,
Spell it.
yeah, how to spell it or how to say it or anything. So that's why I chose the name of texted you, and it served us well.
Yeah.
We've simplified our website. It's basically just a one-page web presence that if you scroll down, you notice here, we've highlighted some of the products that we've developed over the years. Oh, thank you. That's nice. And then down at the bottom, there's just a little contact form and a map. That's basically it. I've taken all the portfolio stuff off. I'm not that interested in doing what I used to do. And I always tell my clients, don't put things on your website that you don't want to do, because that's what people will call you to do. And I tell that to artists too. If you're doing a website, even if you have work that you don't want to do more of, you don't want to do landscapes anymore, don't put any landscapes on your website, because when people see the landscapes, they go, oh gosh, I should probably never go landscape. So yes, we took all that stuff off. And but going back to last year, we well, actually no, let's go back to about 2010. We were invited to develop an online calendar system, and it turns out John had the skills to do that. It's a dynamic system, and I think probably a lot of you have used it. Let's go to Zoom.
Okay.
Oh, that might be a different thing.
Here we go.
Is this the
No,
one
that's
that you?
This is it. This is what we want.
Okay.
All right. So this is the Zoom website. John, you want to talk about it?
Well, in developing the calendar system, one of the things we wanted to do is be able to be a collaborative system
That was important
whereby
to us.
many organizations can use and share events through the calendar system. And so we came up with this word called Zoom. That's another interesting
Story, yeah.
word. But we also, I guess, tailored each of the calendars to a particular organization. So the organization would have their own branding on things, even though they shared the same calendar throughout the whole entire system. And if you put an event on one calendar system, it is possible to see it on another calendar system. For example, call to artists. If you put a calendar, call to artists in the Zoom system, all of our other calendars that are out there, affiliates, yeah, will pick up that call to artists and be able to display it on their web page.
And for us, the collaborative idea made a lot of sense. We did find that many organizations are kind of selfish, and they're not really into sharing any assets that they have. So it didn't work as well as we hoped, but we are still doing it. We do still have a faithful following of people who post their events on the calendar, and also have a window on their calendar to show the events that they choose to show. The State Theater, live from Auburn, is one of our faithful supporters. We have an organization that's not an arts organization, it's the California Watchable Wildlife. They have been faithful supporters, and that's why frequently our shows will include events about animals where you might want to go out and do some fun, plain air.
But they also have the watchable wildlife photo contest.
Yes.
So for photographers, you can enter into their photo contest, and there are prizes.
Yeah, so we do try to feature that too. So it's kind of, it's not just art, it's kind of more cultural nature, that sort of thing. We work closely with the Center for Nonprofit Leadership in Grass Valley. Arts and Culture Council of Contra Costa County. Amador Arts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's the other thing, when we do our show, we go to our calendar, our California calendar system, and look at the events that are on there, and that's what we talk about in our presentation.
Right, we feature those events in our presentation. Now what you may be wondering was like, how are you guys feeding yourselves? How are you making money at this? Well, the truth is, we don't make much money. You're true of this. We do invite people to support us through Patreon. We have a Patreon account, and we're just through donation. We are not a nonprofit, so that eliminates many sources of funding for us. Why have we decided not to go nonprofit?
because we're so on top of that we are.
It would be a big, it would be an expense that we don't have the money for right now. to cover that. But part of the whole Zoomer system, it's not just an online event calendar, it's also an artist directory. And we do have organizations who use the artist directory. I think the Nevada County Art is still using our artist directory. And it's a way for, sure,
You're taking questions.
yeah, absolutely.
So are you asking or selling a product websites or what is it you're
This,
advertising?
we've done a lot of websites. That's not really what we're
Not
marketing.
primary, okay.
Not what we're marketing here. If somebody wanted a website, sure, we would talk to them about what they wanted and see if we would be a good fit for that.
So you're selling the calendar idea?
Right,
To the
so
group?
we have subscribers who just pay a monthly fee to use the calendar and or the
But
directory.
they're organizations, they're not individuals.
Yeah,
Individuals
Actually,
are free. to put
yeah,
stuff.
individuals are free, and you could actually, there is actually a way that you could put all of your own events on your own website with a little widget that comes with the system that is just
Oh,
free. So, and that's something that we could definitely show you how to do.
Yeah.
And it works with WordPress websites. You know, I wish I had tidied mine up a little bit. I usually have it on my own website, my personal
You
website.
work, do you work with Wix?
I don't,
You don't like that?
I've worked with it before. But it's
Okay.
not my favorite. I can work with it. Weebly, worked with Weebly, WordPress. And the widget, as long as the website can accommodate code on the pages, as long as your plan can take code, this widget can fit into your website.
I think most of them do nowadays.
Yeah, most of
Because they have a
Indie
lot of,
Indie does.
Facebook and all those other connections that you have are all based on.
Code.
Do you work with some of the national societies? They would benefit you, yeah, California Watercolor Society.
Just the two of us. I need to get out there.
What's the range of the cost for a subscription for organizations?
It's a monthly fee of $10 to $35 a month.
Okay.
Depending on what you get. So it's pretty reasonable. We tried to keep it very reasonable.
That is reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the directory, like the calendar, can be shared across many different other organizations.
Okay.
So I don't, let's just give a quick little demo of how the directory works.
Okay,
So if you would, Carolyn,
which one do you want?
I would hit search.
what is she searching for?
Well, put in somebody's name.
Yeah, put in an artist name up there in the search field.
Search.
Somebody that you think.
I'm on there for.
Okay, let's
Who's
look at
on
Linda
there?
Hochler.
Linda, okay.
If it's still there.
We haven't deleted anybody. We don't believe people.
Might not have all of, the pictures might not be in the right place, but we'll check it out. There she is.
There it is.
So there's the piece that she's chosen for her avatar to be the fall. And if you click on that picture, let's see what happens.
Oh,
And there's her information along with, if we scroll down, we'll see some other pieces that she has loaded onto this site.
the,
And the beauty of this is, this also is a widget that can be popped into an organization's website and filtered for just whoever they want, their members or certain city or area, whatever. But the artist, given the credential, has their own credentials to be in control of their own listing. So if Linda changes her style and now these aren't appropriate anymore, she can log in. If she can't remember her login, she can Petriflex and set back up again. And she can update her images and she can update her bio. She can do all that.
This was
herself.
my first website.
Oh.
Yeah, and it can serve as your, yeah, it
I
can,
didn't know anything about websites.
right,
so
it
that
can
was my
serve
website.
before you want to take the jump into having your own website, definitely.
Yeah, we also provide a link that you can use just for that purpose.
Right.
You can put on your business card the link.
Linda, you did a great job on this. That's nice.
mhm.
And then each image has more information. If one was to click onto the image, it would take you to details about that particular image. The directory can accommodate PDF files if you're a teacher and you say you want to show samples of your lesson plans. It can accommodate
Audio files.
if you're a musician and you want to have a little sample,
And also YouTube.
and it can also take you to. So they're super powerful, but you kind of hit the nail on the head in that our marketing, since we're both trying to do everything, our marketing is a little bit
Lacking.
lacking.
Hard in this environment.
It is
It
hard,
is.
yeah.
It is.
And, yeah, go ahead.
No,
And the social, social media marketing is really the key. And I do struggle with that a little bit.
yeah, so that was, that's basically our flagship product at the moment.
We are working on another flagship product, which is tour software, and we're not really quite ready to unveil that, but it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna,
Go ahead.
well, and
Unveil it.
no, you go ahead and unveil it. You describe it.
It
Well,
won't leave this room.
Yeah,
Oh, it doesn't matter.
it's going right out the net right now.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly.
But I don't know if you've been on like a wine tour where you have a passport system, you carry around your passport and they stamp it, or any other kind of passport system. So it's very similar to that. We're developing it for the art community, but it's strictly on your phone. And what we will do is at each of the individual venues, wherever we set these things up at, you'll be able to use a QR code to click, say, oh, I've been there. And then you can also put a note into it, say, oh, I need to buy that piece of glass artwork I saw.
Or tell so-and-so about
Or,
this.
yeah, that we can pass it on to somebody else.
Mhm.
You need to go see this, and it'll keep track of where you've been.
And then the idea is if it's sort of, if the organization who subscribes to use the product wants to have a drawing of some sort at the end of a certain period for people who have visited so many places, they'll be able to do that.
Mhm.
And of course, it does collect the emails of all the people who use the program, because,
Well, we want them to sign up when you go in.
right, you have to sign up when you go. Of course, that's how you, how. it
Yeah, our
gets paid for.
our beta testing, we had over 300 individuals that signed up and used the passport system.
Actually, this was used for the 2017 Studios tour.
Mhm.
It came out a little bit late, so people didn't really have a chance to get trained how to use it so well. And we are making improvements on it too. So anyhow, let's go to artscalifornia.net.
Good.
So this is the website that we designed last year to go with our whole video channel, our whole product. And it's basically kind of like a calendar and a newsletter. We try to update the articles frequently. It's a real powerful platform that we haven't even actually fully developed. It can host e-zines. It can, there's a link to the artist directory. You want to scroll down a little bit? Yeah.
These are things for artists. It's called artist directory and a shop now marketplace where we have I just highlighted some of our previous interviewees and their shopping platforms for their art.
So if somebody gets involved with us, we try to promote them. We don't, if we don't know about you, we can't promote you, but we do try to promote the people who get involved with us.
And there's no charge. It's free.
There is free. I mean, of course, we'll take money, but it is free. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it.
So do you have call to artists on that website
Yeah.
for different shows in the region?
We don't, we do, in theory, we do, but we don't have a lot of listings right now.
If an organization or an individual puts that call to artists on our
Right.
calendar, it will show up there.
Oh, right. We don't actually put the listings up. We invite people to put them in. Okay. There again, marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the tools that we put up here are really for the artists, and we empower the artists. We ourselves don't put events on, we don't put anything on our calendar system. That's all up to the individual artist, put into the directory or events or whatever else you want to do. Yeah.
I guess that's about it. Is there anything else we wanted to say?
Yeah, you want to talk about our telling on that in the show? How do we get started? Go ahead.
Oh, how we got started making a show? Well, yes, I took an online class from an amazing artist and La Follette, who's a surface designer who really has her stuff together. And I was very impressed. She's a really good role model. Surface design, that is designing fabric or wrapping paper sorts of things, is something I've always been interested in personally. Back in the 80s, I took silk screen classes to learn how to do, repeat patterns and silk screen lengths of fabric. Now with spoon flower, I don't know, did anybody raise your hand if you've heard of spoon flower before? Oh my gosh, spoon flower is amazing. It's amazing design for surface design artists. You can take your artwork, submit it to the website, and have it printed as fabric, wallpaper, face covers. It's like Society 6. I know a lot of people have ordered things from Society 6, but it's got more of a specialty than just the plain fabric or wallpaper. And I took this class there are some real good tricks to learn how to make your artwork work in that fashion. And I loved it. And I also loved taking the class. And I spent more on the class than I've ever spent on the class, but happily, it was definitely worth it. And that's kind of how we got started on this. Unfortunately, we haven't made the connection between the money and the classes yet. But it's kind of okay.
I think that everybody's doing it.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, does anybody have a solution to that? Like, do something that works out there?
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, the videos that Rebecca had watched on, I was like, well, we could start a video, and a lot of people were stuck indoors these days, and I thought, well, okay, let's make a video. We could do some Zoom calls, talk to people around the state, and put together some interviews at different places. One was on our calendar system, they had slopes. That's SLOPES. That's slopes. What are
and
slope
we didn't know
painters?
what the heck that meant.
Slope painters. Okay, slope painters.
And so they
But they painted
commented.
slopes.
Yeah, they commented, they made a comment on the video, and so we got to know them, and it stands for.
San Luis Obispo Painters for the Environment.
For the environment, yeah. Super interesting group, very interesting group, so they were one of our first videos.
We did the video. Can we bring up the net or the video, YouTube video? Yeah, we have been busy. We can see, look here, there's somebody right here. We have more of it. Where is it? Here he is.
And look at, he's got 261 views. That's another thing I forgot to mention. We find a sponsor, a quarterly sponsor, to pay us $250
They don't
in
pay
prize money.
us.
Well,
They don't pay
they provide $250 in prize money quarterly. And for the video with the most views, not the most likes, it's just the most views.
In that particular time.
And
And last time period was Rio Soto.
Maria Soto, yes, promoting her Artful Journeys book. So, and some of these, we try to make the cover, the thumbnail indicate what the video is, but if it's boring, if it's just us doing our little weekly presentation, I just try to do something that defies all my graphics art training and use like wild colors, wiggly lettering, crazy. I just try to be a little bit outrageous. I think like one of them is the copper top.
Oh,
Where did the copper top go? Yeah. The truth behind the copper top. Which
Well, we
is
don't talk about batteries. There's nothing in there about batteries.
But it's been an interesting experiment to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Why don't we click on that? I'm going to play that for a little bit. The very first opening scenes. And
I don't know
then
if we're gonna have sound on this.
We should.
Find out.
And that music, by the way, is actually an original room score by John.
Yeah. I'm also a musician, by the way.
Summertime, obviously.
I'm back. Yeah, it was an exciting week last week in the Colfax area. We did a show.
It was burning.
Here.
It was a fire.
Fire. Smoky days.
Yeah, right outside my house in Colfax.
Bottom line is your house survived.
Well, yes, it did. It did. And, that the other people have some good luck in getting their houses back in order. Anyway, last week about a boat meeting here, the general romance.
We do have fun.
We kind of thought that there was going to be food from Copper Top.
But
As you can
turns out,
see, the Copper Top is the bar area.
yeah, this is a copper top,
Yes,
and it has a name, the copper top.
so there was no food,
There was no food.
but there was wine.
There was one, yeah.
Okay,
I arrived
that's good.
hungry. I thought it was good.
So,
Food from the Copper Top.
What time of the meeting?
It was a really nice reception.
yeah, so in our previous video, we talked about an opening for a particular show at the Gomez there, and there was mention of Copper Top.
And I thought it was a restaurant.
We're gonna have food, so we're gonna come back down to go get some food, and then we found out later.
No food.
there's no food. It's the bar.
So anyway, it's been a lot of fun, and we try to, our target is one a week. We don't always make that goal. We also work some interviews in there. We have two really
Two
fun
coming up.
videos coming up within a couple of days. One is your show here.
Yeah, the walking.
Right, we're editing that one right now. And then the other one is a new shop in Auburn called Fabrifaction. Yes, what's it called? Fabrifaction. And it's a woman who is a maker and makes vintage flavored garments. She refashions, repurposes, very Victorian, cosplay, steampunk, you name it. She's got, including an amazing steampunk wedding gown that she has in her building. So
Yeah, that would be-
that's my, I love that kind of stuff. If it's a costume, I'm there.
yeah. So, I think that,
Oh, a little bit, oh yes, William.
Yeah, so you're working on this Arts California. Do you have any kind of larger goals that you see like in 2-3 years where you want to be, or what you want to change with this, or you just gonna keep going where you are, or what's the future?
We do have some goals, yeah. Well, we'd like to be able to cover more of California. And we would like to have more patrons. We'd like to earn enough to pay our rent through our patrons at least.
something nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. And we'd like to get maybe some better equipment. We're using, it's a little
Yeah.
grassroots kind of a thing. We did each get a new, more powerful computer,
Here's our camera.
but we
That's your camera.
That's
yeah,
our
we used
camera.
a nicer camera. It works okay, yeah.
Yeah, you had this for a long time.
I've had it for a long time, yeah. I don't know why I bought
And
it.
it is an HD camera. We typically shoot in HD, but we downsize it to 1280 by 720.
And we have a gimbal for it,
Yeah.
so that we decided, we found that we need that when we were at Points Richmond, doing a tour of the outdoor show they have there.
Yeah.
And we also have a handheld mic, so if he's having to shoot from a distance away, we have a handheld mic that I can.
Yeah, here's a little stabilization platform where we can walk around with it without
Mhm.
going all around like that.
And then when we use the mic, we just sync the two up in Premiere. We sync the video and the sound up in Premiere.
It's a little recorder.
Have you explored the idea of like going to the Laguna Arts Festival, and for those people that can't ever go, you know?
We have done something very similar to that. We did a live broadcast last year. Was it last year?
Yeah, it was just last year,
Of
yeah.
the Placer Art Studios tour. And we had like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 different venues that had multiple artists in them. And that's also one of our videos on there.
Because one of the things that would be interesting is to see some of the art galleries down in, like, even in LA area.
Mhm. Yes.
That, you know, you don't know where they are, you don't see, you don't know to go there unless you could see that. kind
That's a
of
really good
information.
idea.
So,
So you're talking basically a virtual tour that you can log on and like you're actually going to the galleries, the student tour, but not being, what she's talking about.
There's a couple of different possibilities, don't you think?
Well, I think there are organizations right now or companies that will create a virtual tour where you can actually, go online and spin your wheel and go around and look at the things.
And you
I
just
I
hire
think what
them.
we would probably do is something that would be live at the moment when it's happening right now.
Right, that's in a way more interesting because the virtual tours are just static slideshow. Really.
That's correct.
But
Right.
when you go in there, you can see the studio, the artists, there's dialogue.
Yeah,
Display
that's what you're
programs.
missing with the 3D, the
To
3D.
me, that's
tours.
a step above.
And actually, we did do that for Art House on our, can you go back to our YouTube channel?
Anyway, this is our little recording device. So if we're outdoors or whatever, I'm away from Rebecca, who's doing the interview, she can do this and we'll sync them up later with Adobe Premiere.
Are you gonna integrate in any different way with the art groups in the future? Or-
Well, any of the links on our YouTube channel are shareable, and I think for yours, I may have, not sure if I shared yours on your Facebook page.
Yeah, that's one of the things we try to do.
Yeah, I
If
try to go
somebody
in
has
and
an
share it.
organization has a Facebook page, we'll go and,
That allows me to do that. I have to do it with my own name because Facebook won't let me do it as Arts California.
Yeah, what I'm thinking about is like, there's the Lincoln art, there's Rockland arts, there's Bolson art. I mean, are you gonna do anything that's gonna tie them together or?
Well, you see, ideally, all of those organizations would be registered on our directory. And
It was exciting.
we would have we'd have a page that opens up to the galleries and the organizations. We have a listing of all of the county or arts organizations on our website. I've reached out to all the county organizations throughout California, and some of them have been very kind and generous in providing us with interviews. Some of them have totally ignored us.
Yeah.
They just
We're not big enough yet.
yeah, we're not big enough. We've kind of reached out to the California Arts Council. That's a little bit intimidating because they're so focused on advocacy and lobbying and less focused on actual art. And we kind of feel more like we want to be focused on actual art.
And we're down in the trenches.
Yeah, we're the trench people.
One of the things during COVID, a lot of the societies were doing Zoom demos and Zoom leads and things like that. And I know part of the group that I was in, they had trouble getting it started and understanding how it all works and doing all that. And is that part of some, maybe a training service you could offer some of the groups could?
Yes, yeah, we could do that. We definitely do that. If you want to scroll down here, we're not going to play it, but I'm going to show you. A little bit later, you can go down there and see it yourself. It's the lady with the two masks. Where keep going. There, no, not that one. Keep going.
This one?
No, keep going.
Okay. keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. What happened to them?
No, I think
They're coming up. They're coming up. Keep going. There they are, right here. Special tour day event.
that's Paula Emery and
Hiding behind the mask.
and Lady.
Anyway, it's it's a 30-minute video and it covers all the live stuff that we did during the Placer Art Studios tour last year. We did a broadcast from Persimmon Art Gallery.
Persimmon was just opening, yeah.
So we did a live broadcast from there and we actually did zoom into these various art venues during the studios tour.
And actually, it was kind of a learning experience.
Yeah.
I'm not terribly proud of that one. But
Well, the videos are good.
yeah,
The execution was a little questionable.
we're all learning.
Are you in Maria Silva's book?
Yes,
In this chapter about you?
Yeah.
yeah. I found amazing in that book. It's like, who is this lady? I want to meet her.
Didn't she give the sign in at the Persimmon?
Yeah, we had a sign-in at Persimmon this last Monday. We had a sign it as book reading at an amazing bookstore. I would encourage you all to visit if you can, called Amatoria in Sacramento. I think it's only art books.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Do
Including,
they take our?
they do take art
They do.
books. Yeah, they do.
Number
And
of
then-
us do.
Yeah, including, they had a little section on erotic arts, which I didn't really get to look at.
And I'm not sure everybody knows it here, but you also have art.
I do have art. So my medium that seems to work at art galleries is polymer clay. Yeah, these are a little modest sample, sometimes some of it's big. Thank you, William.
Oh, have any other questions?
I love the feedback that you've given us and the ideas. Laguna Arts, and Tracy is real active with Laguna Arts. She would be a good path into. Tracy Owens was another one, has been another one of our top.
Like she was our first interview.
She was already first.
She was our guinea pig. We want to do interviews. Can you do art reviews?
And she's a good subject too, because she's so flamboyant. She knows how to look at the camera and just, think of everything to say. And yeah, so I do have cards here. If I have to take one and pass it on.
So we'd like to thank you for inviting us here
Yeah,
today. We enjoyed ourselves.
yeah. Always fun.
Your calendar is amazing, and the fact that artists can have websites up there is amazing. And I think you should charge something for it,
Well, for individual artists, it's all free. Organizations, yeah, we do have a fee
Yeah.
for organizations.
So why don't you charge for individuals? I mean, I'm happy, but.
Well, you can become a patron and support us in that fashion, but for one thing, I found that the billing, before we had subscriptions, the billing was, to charge artists to write out and to find out if they had paid, to go back and do an invoice.
Then it's $5.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, it
true.
was just barely worth it. So the subscription thing is working out well. Yeah, well,
So the more people that watch your videos, does that help you?
Yes,
You
and
understand.
I do encourage you to subscribe if you can and click the thumbs up whenever you watch one of our
and
videos.
maybe someday
Definitely.
we'll have ads, who knows?
Right, and if they also not only watch, but they make comments, that also helps you.
It
That's
does,
right, that's correct.
yeah,
That's not a help without donating money to this.
That's correct.
yeah, it is really helpful. Thank you so much for thinking of that.
So what's the process in contacting you and getting on the website? William probably knows already, but what's the process?
You want an interview?
If I want to be on the website,
Well, what part of it do you want to be on? Like, just have an interview? Or,
and that's why I'm not quite.
well, there's a couple of
clear about
options. If you have events, like events in your studio, or you're going to be participating in an event, you can set up an account. Let's go, well, this is where you would end up coming, but you would probably come through artscalifornia.net.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna be in the Mother Lode show coming up next week or whatever.
Uh-huh.
You can click on that art scope right there. and it'll take you to the home. So you're okay, because you want to advertise your,
Yeah, say if I want to
Coming show.
advertise it.
Okay, so this is a really good question. Scroll all the way to the bottom. There are a couple of ways to get to where we're going, but this is, in my opinion, all the way to the footer. Let's see. Go ahead and go to the events calendar. And there is a video that tells you how to do what I'm about to just briefly sum.
where you put it at, better to show up. There it's coming up.
It'll be faster next time.
So those three little bars up at top, this is not the way you would normally get there, but this is a little shortcut. Click on those. And go to login. And we don't have a thing here to set up a new account. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
doing that somewhere else.
Yeah, okay, John, help me out here.
I would go back to that.
Go back to the front page, click on this. Sorry about that.
I think isn't under
Go to-
how to post an event on the artscountry.net. right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that's it. That's what you want right there.
Click the read
Read
more.
more.
Oh, there's the report. Okay.
Okay. thanks.
Yeah.
And then scroll down,
Tutorial.
scroll down. Yeah,
Yep,
there is a tutorial.
and there we go. Create
So,
an
so
account.
the very first thing you do is you create your free account, and you only have to do that once. And once you have that, once you go through that, from that other page, and it's a minimum of information that you set up. You want to write down your username and password. From then on, you can go ahead and add a directory listing, an artist directory, or you can add events. Both of those are the two.
And then it'll give you access to a little chunk of code that you can put on your own website. So any events that you post up here will automatically come to your website.
Oh, okay. So what you're talking about with the interview thing?
Well, if you want to, like, William had an interview, so many people recommended that we interview him, but if you would like to have an interview, just let us know.
Oh, okay.
Just send us an email, say, yeah, I do this, this is what I do, and I think it would be an
This is
interesting
my
interview.
studio.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm still studying that. We just moved here about a month ago, month and a half ago. So,
we're really open to ideas. If you had an idea, you know, I like to look in the arts idea. Did you come from Southern California?
Well, I lived in Southern California, but we moved from Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And I was real active in that community as well.
And you're jumping right in now.
I am, that's the only way to do it. You're never at a loss for friends. You always have art friends.
I'm really glad you asked about this process. Any other questions?
Okay, so
Thank
what
you.
do you think?
They hired me to come in and ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good investment. Okay.
And what do you
Standard
say?
cookies.
I don't know what can I say? Yeah, if you like it, give us a thumbs up.
And share our video.
Will do. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.